One day, he floored downward main piece of music production giants above the folder-sharing software program he created. Currently, Pablo Soto wants to use his digital know-how to alter democratic state. He is in the leftward-wing coalition how hit conventional parties to get above Madrid's justice in 2015. Currently, as Madrid's chief of outdoor by the government, Mr. Soto has start up a plate wherever countrymen dictatorship policies to town room and select which to expend taxes on. I don't believe of myself as a political figure, the advisor says. Yet I am a policy man. I wish social involvement to be the main arrangement for achieving policy decisions, in the part of political community diminished to processing the inferior date-to-date material. 10 years ago Mr. Soto was a 20-something machine developer who had intended a episode of man-to-man, P2P, folder-sharing applications utilized by 25 millionth human beings about the planet. Lot of them utilized the software program to stake piece of music archive. Mr. Soto, who has muscular dystrophia and uses a invalid carriage, was sued in 2008 by Warner, Electromagnetic Radiation, Sony and some amusement production giants for millions of euros in supposedly lose rental income, a sum he says he could not include dreamed of amassing. He ultimately won a painted-out episode of Battles, although Spain's courts how, he says, done him more than politically aware and militant for web liberty and net neutral. This largest policy time of my lifetime was the overnight of May 15, 2011, while I solved to get my backpack to Puerta del Sol in Madrid, although down there was a risk of the police force cleaning the box as the outcry had been proclaimed illicit. We disputed an entire framework of presentation in that a few human beings include 100% force of judgment for year, out of possessing to explanation or enable countrymen to take part. Mr. Soto rotated to technique to outdoor up the judgment-making trial. Solve Madrid is an on the internet plate in 400,000 users in the Spanish equity. Any of them can offer an concept, that, if supported by 27,662 some users, 1% of the town's age people, goes to a plebiscite. It is elected on by the human beings, not the justice. The political community cannot unite it, Mr. Soto says. Some cities wherever leftward-wing coalitions swept to force in 2015, consisting Barcelona and Valencia, include as well set up participating system to get joint decisions on social means and on how to expend portion of their budgets. In Madrid's trial, countrymen can voice on the internet or in man to solve how to distribute €100 millionth in conducting a considerable portion of the justice's full investment each year. The software program Drive Madrid's collaborative plate has been adopted by 100 by the government institutions in 33 countries, in Uruguay the first nation to use the complementary software program at a domestic standard. Critics of straight democratic state alert how so organized solitary issue groups could seize the discussion, such as against vaccine campaigners in Italy. Down there are as well concerns how minority groups might be crushed by the wheels of most force. But Mr. Soto believes human beings can be trusted in policy decisions. He cites teaching of straight democratic state that proposed taxpayers may get more thoroughness in social cash rather than election campaign political community. He as well says Madrid countrymen include shown cohesion in other, supporting new homes for female victims of sort abuse and day centers for Alzheimer's patients. Political community include ever sold out us the concept how it is a conflict to supporting thing how doesn't gain thou. Our expertise shows how the contrary is real. The monthly Madrid plans to start Mr. Soto's largest distant-reaching reformation yet, an observatory of 57 countrymen choose at accidental to counsel the town's 57 councillors. Mr. Soto explains how an algo will provide how observatory members will be member of Madrid's public variety, in a year credentials and accessing to specialist aid to achieve so informed decisions. The conception was encouraged by the old Athens experience of selecting countrymen to shape steering committees, and by more than latter examples wherever governments include requested the human beings to solve on solitary issues to break down policy impasse. This concept is as old as democratic state himself, he says. A team of human beings selected at accidental, if they include the period and power to research the issues in deep, can get really member decisions. Mr. Soto does not schedule to halt at Madrid, and notes how his plate could now be utilized to communicate human beings through the ball in collaborative judgment making. It does not do feeling how the planet is yet organized on regional channel, since the web contradicts these geographic distances.